Right. Well, at least we got the stream restarted. So we'll see how that goes and who might rejoin. But for the rest of
Like
for the rest,
just pops open.
what's that?
Should just pop open, right?
It should. For the rest of the audio people, sorry for the last couple minutes, but we're trying to do a live TV show at the same time. TV show, whatever, Twitch show. Hey, I saw this was kind of funny. Since we have a couple things to actually talk about, Francis.
Yeah.
So there's a wrestler in the WWE who, before his WWE career, was a UFC fighter and kept getting popped in the UFC for drug tests because he loves weed so much.
Okay.
He goes to the WWE, had the same issues. Kept getting slight suspensions for wellness policy. And it was weed every single time. Well, apparently in the last year or two, WWE has stopped testing for weed. And now this wrestler, Matt Riddle, has been suspended for an indefinite amount of time. I guess 6 weeks, I think was, no, not indefinite. So 6 weeks, I think was, okay, yay, much better. 6 weeks, 6 weeks suspension to go to rehab. And so it's not weed he's being suspended for. And people are, on the Twitters there are asking, what is he being suspended for? And I say, everybody forgets he's got a gigantic psychedelic mushroom tattoo on the side of his ribs.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
If they're not testing for weed, then he's probably popping mushrooms.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, they're playing up to the fact that he is a stoner with his character. They made a joke.
Here's the thing.
They made a joke last night about weed on WWE television.
As long as it's not like heavy duty steroids, which I'm assuming they're taking steroids anyway, because they're such a big guys. Like, why does it matter what other drugs? As long as it's not like heroin or like PCP or something. Like
Well,
something that really.
I think anything that you're shooting up is a concern because you can get
weed,
you
though.
can.
What?
Well, that's why they don't test for weed.
Okay. Well, what is mushrooms going to do to you?
Open up your fucking mind.
Yeah. It'll make him a better fighter because his mind is so open.
Fucking have a fun 4-hour giggle fest.
Yeah.
Maybe see
like
some vapor trails coming off of a fucking bird that flies by or something.
As long as it's not like LSD or something, like he should be fine, right?
I mean,
as long as it's not bath salts, he should be fine, right?
Exactly. I mean, even LSD. I mean, come on.
Depends on the kind of trip he has. Well, it depends.
Come on, though. Come on. Is it really that bad? I mean, I've only tripped once, and that was one too many times for me.
Well, I mean,
mushrooms I can handle. Even though with mushrooms I get fucking hardcore resting bitch face, but I'm having a great time internally. I'm giggling in my head and carrying on, but externally, I just turn into a rock and get RBF.
Jeez. Well, that's the thing. Supposedly, they're pushing like society or something, not society, like science or something, is pushing microdosing of LSD, right? So that you can. It's supposed to help depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Microdosing LSD is supposed to like help depression and just like make you feel better overall. So you never know. It might be a normal thing to microdose that type of stuff.
I have protect kayfabe. I have friends.
Yes.
That have microdosed and still, did their job just fine.
Yeah. Because you don't get the trip. You just get the kind
just
of
the mellow.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A guy I used to work he used to work with me. he would get ketamine shots from his doctor.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
And I'm like, wait, your doctor gives you date rape drugs? What the fuck? Do you know what happens after you?
Relaxer?
But he's like, dude, it's a small amount.
Oh.
Like, that's really interesting. So it is a thing, apparently, that to microdose many a different thing.
Yeah.
I would have to try it just to see what it was like to get the effect, because I know myself when it comes to the feeling that I like. And if I'm kind of feeling it, I'm going to want more, so I really feel it. So it would be weird to, almost trip, but not.
Yeah, I mean, again, the goal isn't to be
Right. It isn't. I know the goal isn't to trip, but I'm saying to even get the some of the relaxation that would come with it. Be like, oh, I know what's coming up next, and then
I remember who. Yeah.
But I'd have to try it. I just never. It's not super high on my priority list.
Right.
But it would be. I would be down to try it though. I totally would.
So whatever happened to this dude who? What was the end result of this guy again? Who was like getting like popped for drugs in the WWE?
Well, he's suspended right now, so we'll find out.
Okay. All right. For mushrooms, or no, they won't say what, but
It hasn't been for what, but I would say LSD or mushrooms. I mean, like I said, he has a psychedelic mushroom tattooed on his side. So,
right.
that
Do you
should
think?
be.
Wait a minute. So, you sent me a video of a lot of when WWE was very ladled with innuendo, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like, I'm gonna spread your hole and I'm gonna fill your mouth up with nuts or something or whatever they say. Now that all of this footage looked like pre-2010, did they stop doing that? Did they stop being all suggestive post-2010?
Some of the clips that were in that that compilation video that you saw were not from 2010. Some of them were from last year.
They're way before then, right? Oh, last year, really? Okay.
Some of them were awfully recent. You may remember I think it was towards the beginning of the video, there was a Russian sounding guy that said, "If you come in my face, I'll be pissed off about it." Yeah, that happened like a year ago.
Oh, okay, good. I was a little worried that they were going to stop doing that type of thing, and I'm like, oh no, they need to keep doing that.
I mean, there was the one.
They're not going to do what they did with Go on.
No, go.
Well, I was just going to say they're probably not going to do the one with Hulk and was it Ultimate Warrior? The Hulk Hogan one with he was like holding his hands to the side, and Ultimate Warrior was at his waist, going like this.
Oh,
at Hulk's waist.
But see that whole they call it the test of strength, where the two wrestlers will face each other, and interlace their fingers, holding their hands interlaced, their fingers interlaced, and the whatever the show, the grapple, the wrestling entertainment,
right.
One would overpower the other by pressing his downward pointed hands at the upward pointed hands at the weaker upward pointed hands and make him bend the knee. Oh, I gotta write that down. Something that happened, and bend the knee fucking just. So that video that everybody knows of the warrior down in the crotchels of Hulk Hogan is a GIF, and it's cut very, very short, so it makes it look more suggestive than it actually was.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, they let this on TV.
Yeah,
well, good for them.
I mean, it's also the way they were positioned and how it was shot.
Oh yeah,
and then the wonderful internet and its ability to, clip and take things out of context.
Oh, they knew it was, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Even if that's even in context, you're like, okay, we know what you're doing, right?
Well,
The joke is there no matter what,
sure.
even if you saw it in context.
Sure. But yeah, it still makes for a funny gif, though.
Yeah. So what did you remember from?
So me and the lady, we went to the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Let's throw them a fucking bone, right?
B-dubs.
The B-dubs. If you're hip, the B-dubs.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we went on a football Sunday, and neither one of us watched the footballs, so we didn't really
say you're so football. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we walked in, we went, "Oh shit, it's the footballs."
Mm-hmm.
I looked up and looked around, and the whole restaurant was full of the opposite team that the Broncos were playing.
Oh, sure.
So I was just like, well, it won't be that busy. We should be able to get a seat pretty quick. Well, we did, but then, I am not going to talk trash about service because service is great almost everywhere. But the waiter perceived the service that he provided as slow, delayed, not satisfactory, and I didn't at all. I was like, yeah, it's kind of busy. It's not a bad thing. It's busy. It's Sunday football.
You were sympathetic, yeah.
And I honestly, neither one of us thought anything was taking a long time whatsoever.
Right.
So when the guy comes to check on us, like halfway through, he like literally got down on one knee and was like, "How is everything? I apologize." And I was like, "Everything's fine. Please get off the floor. You're embarrassing me."
Maybe it's just so you could hear him better.
Maybe
I've had
maybe
wait
so.
staff do that because it's loud, so they just like, "All right, guys."
Right.
Because then you come closer, your heads all come together.
Sure.
And like, okay,
sure.
It's loud. So
Well,
let me say this thing.
I pay for everything, and he comes back, and he's like, he brings me my receipts to sign and whatnot. Again, he's like on his knees, like, "Thank you," and he's like, he's got his hands together, and he's like, "Thank you guys," and he's bowing to me, and I'm like, are we in a Japanese restaurant or B-dubs? And
Apparently,
like, what is going on? I was like, I appreciate the gratitude that you're giving to me, but Jesus Christ, man, please get off the fucking floor.
Yeah, wow, that's extreme. Okay.
Yeah, it was extreme, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say he got more of a tip because of that. There was no sympathy tip in there because I mean the guy did
right.
I like. Yeah, I was just like, why does this guy think his service sucks? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Right. Like, there was clearly an issue happening somewhere in the dining room area that we were in. You can, if you have ears, you can hear when people are like, "Oh, I didn't get this, I didn't get that," But
being a good guy.
Yeah, I was blown away. I'd never had a waiter or waitress. Well, okay, never. But I've never had any sort of wait staff like on their knees, like asking and making sure everything was okay. And
you have to worry when they start crawling under the table.
Well, do you have to worry?
I mean, depending on what they're doing under the table.
I mean, I don't know. I worry might be on my list, but it might be pretty fucking low on that list. It might be like, issue number 6,000 or so.
Never had a waiter crawl under the
Neither have I.
table. So.
Neither have I.
Don't have to worry.
I don't think there's any slick way to do that. Even a patron
is long enough.
Even a patron though. Like,
yeah, no. Well,
come on, you're in a restaurant, you're having yourself a steak. You're gonna notice if somebody's crawling underneath a table. You're gonna notice it.
Yeah, so you're with your date.
Yeah.
right? Your date's like, oh, I dropped my knife under the table. Let me go get it. They crawl under the table. Then all of a sudden, stuff happens. I'm just saying. It's not beyond the realm of reason for people to be under the table.
They're texting and.
I mean, I guess so. If you want to call it that, is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Ew, there's a lot of nasty thoughts that just popped up in my head.
That was that was the implication I was putting towards the yeah. But
Anyway, hey, do you want a car wreck update?
Well, did you have the car wreck before last episode, or is that a new phenomenon?
Yeah, it happened on Monday. We did the show. We do shows on Tuesdays.
Okay, so it happened on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, please give us an update on car wreck 2022.
Well, there's no update on the car in which was involved in the wreck. It's still sitting outside my house. The repair shop is
mocking you.
Basically, they're not. I got a one-word answer when asking a detailed question. So
is it because of the snow?
I don't know. I got a one-word answer. There's not a lot to go on when there's only a one-word answer.
So you have a rental, which we'll talk about in a second, but you can only hold on to the rental for like a month, right? And then they start charging you, right?
I don't know.
They did with me, at least.
I'm not really sure. Again, these are phone calls I'll be making probably on Friday if I don't get much communication going.
Ooh, excitement!
But as you alluded to, I was able to pick up a rental, and when I made the arrangements, the rental car company, which was conveniently a block and a half away from where I live, was like, "Hey, they have you set to be in a subcompact." And I was like, all right, well, I mean, can't be that bad unless it's a smart car. And, and they were like, well, fuck the smart cars sponsorship. They were like, yeah, it's Mitsubishi Mirage. And I'm like, when did that become a subcompact car? I mean, it used to be a pretty small car, but it was never. It's like a Geo Metro looking size car nowadays.
Wow, you picked a car that no longer is manufactured.
I didn't pick it. That's what that's probably the $17 a day or something like that. Whatever, something cheap.
Right.
So the rental car place was like, hey, you should call your insurance company and tell them that you need some sort of full-size vehicle, something comparable to what you had. I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Cool, thanks for letting me know. Well, I forgot. So I have to walk to the place. So I walked there, and it was cold because it was fairly early in the morning. Mm-hmm. So after they typed War and Peace into their computer, they actually got me moving pretty quick. And they were like, hey, we're going to put you in a Honda Civic. And I was like, oh, sweet. I don't even have to come up with the argument to not put me in a fucking subcompact or nothing. So they got me in a 2019 Honda Civic. I think it's a Sport Turbo or Turbo Sport or something.
Sure.
Never driven a car with a turbo. Even this is fucking super low pressure turbo. So, we're not talking Fast and Furious here.
Right.
But it's cool to feel turbo kick in. This is the second time I've driven a car in the current generation or decade in which we are living.
Okay.
So it's 2019. What year is it? Almost 23. So I would still say it's a 10th generation Honda or Civic. They haven't made an 11th generation yet. So I am in the current generation of Civic. And not having driven a car with technology such as this ever, I'm being completely spoiled.
Of course.
Completely and totally spoiled. So I bought a brand new car in 2001. Had a Toyota Celica. The coolest feature that car had was a 6-disc in-dash CD changer. Nah, I had the body kit, the factory body kit on it. But as far as like technology, the car had no USB, no Bluetooth. I mean, Bluetooth was barely fucking even around.
2001, yeah, you
Yeah.
had that.
So it's crazy and then my car that I'm currently driving, well, before it got wrecked, is a 2006. So like,
it's still, yeah. You still have to roll the window down, right?
no, it's got a push button,
Oh, okay.
window, but it's got keys. It's got, it's a manual, which I'm not a big fan of automatics, but it is kind of nice to just put the shit in drive and just sit back and relax.
Feature, man. It's a feature.
But having a fob, just a key fob, and I can't tell you how many times I've tried to take the keys out of the ignition of this car that there is no ignition.
Yeah. It takes a while. What's funny is that when you get your car back, should you get your car back, you're gonna be like, "Why is the car starting? Where's the button?"
Mm-hmm. What is this peasant thing of pushing the button to unlock your car?
I have to insert a key into a keyhole to start my car.
I'm just getting really spoiled by it, super spoiled. So to the point where I've actually looked up the 2019 hatchback, the Civic hatchback, because I like hatchbacks. I don't. This is a gigantic fucking car.
Sure.
Comparatively, but they're pricey. They're pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But there is no good time to buy a car.
Not yet. Well, yeah.
But I was thinking about that made me think back to the other cars that I've had. And none of them, except for the Celica, were in that generation or that decade. The first car I had was 5 years older than I was.
Okay.
A 1972 Dodge Charger, the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Man.
It was an older version of the Dukes of Hazzard car. I traded that in for a 1988 RX-7. This was in 1995, 96.
Sure.
So it's already almost 10 years old. I drove an 89 after that wasn't mine. I was just driving it. Then I got the brand new 2001 Celica in 2001. Maybe it was early 02. After that, I traded, because I was backwards and upside down, I traded that in for, I think it was a 98 Escort. And that had crank windows. Oh, dude, it was a horrible, it was a great little car, but it was horrible. And that was the only car of this list that had a catastrophic ending. Like the engine exploded.
Oh my God! Wow.
It had a major oil issue.
Yeah.
And I was driving down the road, and I don't know, the oil just a seal let go or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but I heard bang. I looked up in the rearview mirror. There was nothing but white smoke. So oil was burning off of something.
Oh my God.
And then inside the cloud of white smoke that was pinging off the fucking hood and windshield of the car behind me was glowing red hot bits of metal that was on the inside of my engine that was now on the outside of my engine.
Sounds awful.
It
sounds terrible.
It probably looked awesome.
Okay, well, at least it looked cool. At least it looked amazing.
I had a 99 Grand Cherokee. That's probably the nicest car I've ever had.
Sounds nice, yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of leather, like at all.
Oh yes, yeah. You're not a fan. You want
No.
your fabric. You
I
your
want
cotton
fabric.
seats.
So the 2001 Celica, that car, the trim that I got it in, it was the GTS, which was the
Okay.
higher of the two trims available, with the factory body kit
Mm.
in the rarest paint color, and it had
extra for
and it had cloth seats, which was super rare for that color, that trim, that body kit to have cloth. My car, the weekend before I bought it, was at the Colorado Auto Show, which is think of the LA Auto Show, just smaller.
I mean, why was that not?
Toyota sent it there for fucking people to check out the car.
Oh.
And then I bought the floor model, if you will.
Yeah, because people got to sit in that car.
A whole bunch of people got to sit in it. Nobody got to drive it because I picked it up with 37 miles on it.
Yeah.
So those are all test drive miles. But it was cool to have that car because it was super rare. And then when I was upside down on it and whatnot, and I took it back to the dealership for my $2,000 of equity that I had in it, they were like,
Right.
well, because it is so rare, we're going to make sure we get you as much as, a little bit more than that 2,000 that you should be getting, or you will be getting. So that was a benefit, at least. But that's definitely, it's a car I would like to have again, just to have it.
I mean, sure, yeah.
It looked cool. It wasn't very fast, but it sure looked like it was. I don't know. You have had a handful of cars and rental cars. Somewhere in there, there's got to be high points of cars you would like that, oh, that car was rad. That'd be nice to, be nice to drive that car again. Or
yeah, this was some years ago, but the best car I've ever gotten to drive that I rented for a trip was probably 2017, maybe 2018. It was a Mustang. Just a Mustang. Probably the nicest car I've ever driven. It was automatic, of course, because I'm a wuss. But I drove that thing through Oklahoma. My sister was there for school, and I was just there to accompany her as she looked in her new neighborhood, and it was an amazing vehicle. I think that was my favorite car to drive because you tap on that thing and you're already at 60 miles an hour, and I'm like, oh right. And it was just super slick. It was jet black. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Would I get a Mustang ever again as a car? Yes. Because I think that's all Ford makes anyway, are Mustangs.
The Focus.
They stopped making Focuses.
Well, I would get the last gen Focus.
Yeah. It was just like a couple years old. But I would get like a 2023 Mustang or something.
The Focus RS. You wouldn't want a normal Focus, but the RS is pretty badass.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, look, if I'm gonna get a Mustang, like if I have the choice of getting a Mustang, which is like already at $50K or whatever, I'd get a GT or something, right? I'd get one of their most souped up version of.
Yeah, you don't buy a Mustang and get a V6.
It's like a Shelby. Here's your Shelby Mustang.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a Shelby, but it at least has to be the V8 version.
Well, here's the question for you, because you've now had a taste of the life of a modern vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any interest in getting a modern vehicle moving forward? Or,
I mean, if the worst case scenario, the insurance company comes to me and they say, your car's fucked, we don't want to deal with it, here's the check. Depending on that size of check and the market available to me and the friends I might have out there who still work at car dealerships.
You never know. That's true. You never know.
I might be open, depending on the size of the down payment, to have a small car payment to get something pretty damn modern.
A nicer car. Yeah.
Would that, affect a lot of things financially, but,
Here's the thing. You could drive stick, which means that you're going to get a cheaper car anyway, no matter what.
That's true.
Even though they don't make stick as much anymore for cars nowadays, because, we're all spoiled.
Surprisingly,
Spoiled little wusses.
a lot of the hatchbacks are all offered in manuals.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
Which
I say go for it.
I totally would. If the like I said, if the moons and the planets line up well enough, I would love to be in some push button starter vehicle.
Yeah. Look, luckily you didn't get the car where there's a version of, oh my God, I saw it somewhere. Maybe it's a Fiat or something, but one of those European cars where the gear shift is all push button, right? So you push the button for drive, you push the button for, which I think is terrible. I don't think so. Even like, I get it. I'm like, don't do that.
Oh, talk about things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Mazda has this, and apparently Honda does now too. Is a hold brake button.
Yes.
You go to a stoplight, you're in traffic, let's say. They say you're at a fucking, an 18-wheeler just ran over a fucking, another vehicle. I couldn't think of something funny.
Yeah, okay.
And the freeway is tied up because there's dildos all over the street.
There you go. Better.
You leave the car running so you have your AC going, your heater, what have you, and you hit this button that says brake hold, and you take your foot off the brake while the shit's in drive, and you just sit there. That is a horrible, horrible feature to have.
Look, man. Oh, man. I drove a 2022 Kia Soul when I got into my car accident a few months ago. And they had a thing called, there's this weird thing that assists. I don't know how it does it, but it knows whether or not you're swaying between the lanes, getting close to one side of the lane or the other. And it forces the wheel to put you back in the middle. I hated that. I hated every second. I'm like, I have no control of my car.
Right.
Somebody else is driving for me, and I'm not a fan.
Well, and that's kind of my argument with the brake hold thing, because the Civic does have some sort of lane, you're drifting out of lane feature. The other thing it has is, what I was going to say is, some of this technology is distracting. The lane correction. Maybe if you're 75 years old, and you're having problems driving in a straight line, maybe that's a cool feature. But it shouldn't be a feature for somebody that's distracted to have. Fucking drive. This thing has a camera in the right-hand side mirror. So the very first time I had to merge right on, from the what do you call that? The rental place onto the main road. And there's cars behind me. I hit the blinker, and the screen that had music playing turns into a camera shot and I'm like, where is this shooting from? I'm so confused. Why is this here?
Yeah.
So I'm a big nerd. I know how technology works, but I was having problems figuring out how to stop everything in the car, making bings and bongs, and how to turn off these camera settings, and I couldn't find it, so I downloaded the fucking PDF for the owner's manual. I own the car and shit.
It's the smart move. You have it for a while, so yeah. As well.
Well, so now I've got the car completely customized to me. Now it's pretty awesome. I turn the car on, it starts playing music from my phone. If I could figure out a way to say, "Hi, Josh," I will.
It's almost there. It's almost there. No joke. Like it's getting to the point where it everything you do, it automatically just starts doing for you, like everything. Oh, you want us to adjust your seats for you? Fine. We know your height and your weight, so we're gonna adjust your seat so it feels comfortable for you.
Apparently, Francis, there are cars out there. I don't know if it's Hondas, but they have automatic brights. I don't even understand what that even means. Like, like I can understand if it's automatic brights and they turn off, but like, how do you do automatic brights?
I don't know. They don't do automatic brights. They should, but yeah.
Look, I still think the brake or the bright switch should still be on the floor, under your left foot.
Were you talking about that? Did you tweet about that?
I have at one point, yeah. The Charger had the brake switch was under your left foot. It was it was an automatic. So like where your left foot rests, there's a little tiny, not tiny, about the silver dollar, maybe a little bit, bigger than a silver dollar radius circumference.
Yeah.
And it was a post that hung out the bottom of the floor.
Oh, okay.
So your foot would rest next to it, and then if you needed to flash somebody, depending on how badly you needed to flash them, you just press the thing, or you can aggressively stomp on this thing, and it would flash your lights.
Nice.
It's so much more pleasing than just flicking back on your turn signal switch.
Wait, so do you have the auto lights on so that when it gets dark, it just turns lights?
Yeah, I mean, I've had that. I've had that in cars
know.
past as well. What's up, listeners, mate? You're joining towards the end of the show. We had a slight issue and we had to restart. So it only says we've been on for 36 minutes, but we've actually been on for an hour.
About an hour, yeah.
But thanks for showing up, man. It's going to be a damn shame when I have to return this car, regardless if my car is fixed or not. Just because of how used to everything I'm getting used to. It's just spoiled by technology every single time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Having seen how technology is now, and at some point, because my car is just so run down from using it for work, that I'm going to have to buy a new car at some point. I just don't know when. I'm just afraid to pull the trigger because it's so expensive right now to buy a car. But boy, oh boy, I'm kind of excited because I'm like, I will buy new. I'll buy brand new. I'll buy whatever 2023 or 2024, whenever it is, that kind of car. And I'm excited for like the little features, minus the stupid stay in the lane feature.
And all that kind of stuff you could typically turn off. So
you can, yeah.
You just have to find the pathway to make it easy. So you download the PDF.
Exactly. But I'm excited to kind of see all the bells and whistles that come with a brand new, whatever car from X year. It's like, yes, can't wait to try all the weird stuff on this thing. I mean, that's what we'll be driving when we go to WonderCon and when you go to San Diego. That'll be our mode of transportation.
Which it is the middle of December, but March it will be here, right? March
or April. It's one of those
March.
months, yeah.
I think it's April. April will be here before we know it.
Which again, we're already everything. So
we are predisposed to going.
Oh, March 24th, 26th. So that is, mark your calendars there, Josh, because we're already...
We're there.
We're already approved for our press for that.
We can officially say that WonderCon will be our first official 2023 convention.
Yeah. You don't have anything.
I mean, I might have something before, but that's the only one that we can say right now. We know we're going to. I know. I don't have to worry about the flight. Southwest was like, here we're the credit you have forever.
That's true. Oh yeah, you have a flight, right? You have
I have one flight left in them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So
good. Fun times.
It will be fun times, and any time that we get together, whether it's in person or weekly on this thing, it is always a good time. There's no worries to forget, Ginger. We're here every week. We guys just saying that we're here every week.
Yeah.
You didn't look. You didn't miss anything this week because we had technical difficulties, and the two things I have written down somehow we stretched into an hour.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about like the stuff that I was prepared in case we need to. So
there's no crossed out asterisk thing next to the thing that you brought up. So we did good. Maybe it was good we had technical difficulties. The audio side of this is even a bigger mess. So
Yeah, so it's fine. Glad you make it, Ginger. Glad to see you.
Yes, always. What else? How's the book? Is the book out yet?
So it's funny you should ask that because I just got an email either yesterday or today, I forget when, where it's just like call to arms, guys. So, check your things. We're trying to get the book out by Christmas Day, or a little afterwards. So the goal is to get out the book for finality within the next week or two. Which is good because I really want to share. Like I want to, because some people didn't didn't get a chance to buy the Kickstarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just forgot or whatever. Like just it passed them by, and I want to be like, hey, I really want people's opinions on this story that I wrote. Because, I mean, everyone else I'm pretty sure is already good, but they're established authors. I'm like, I need somebody to read this thing that I wrote because I really want to know if it's any good. So we'll see what happens. But so hopefully Christmas time, definitely the Kickstarter stuff will come out, but the book won't be for sale until I think like February. So we still have a ways to go till like the regular book is going to be out for sale for everyone else, for the general public. But if you contributed to the Kickstarter, you should be getting it in the next few weeks.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Anything else exciting, fun, or interesting going on in the world of the other guy?
The biggest thing, because that episode is going to come out this week and next, are the last two episodes of the Is This Love podcast. So it's wrapping up for good. As a show, so I think that'll probably be a surprise to listeners made who often listens to it and is very kind to upload it to archive. But that show will be over, which means in the new year, because I can't not let it go, I will probably start a new show with just me, most likely, and I'll probably just start a new podcast again because I can't seem to not be in front of a microphone. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking of doing something pop culture-y so that whenever I do get press for a convention, it makes sense, and I'm not just stealing from points of interest.
Which I completely and totally failed to bring up, but I know LA Comic-Con just happened this past weekend. You were supposed to be approved. Were you approved?
I was approved.
And did you go?
I didn't. I did go per se. I did sort of go. So
you didn't go in the building.
So Saturday comes, and that's the day I want to go, and I'm like, great. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep in a little bit. It starts at 7:30 to get your. If you can go in at 7:30, I'm like, I'm not going at 7:30. I'm going to go in when it starts, 10:30. Right. Here's the problem. LA sucks. Like LA really, really sucks, and I don't know what was up with them, but they didn't prepare for parking. So I waited almost 2 hours to find a parking spot. Like
Jesus.
Literally just because it's in the downtown area. It's at the Staples Center / Convention Center.
Oh,
it's not
Jesus.
Staples anymore. It's
okay. Yeah.
the crypto whatever center it is now.
Yeah.
But it's down there near LA Live, and if anyone's been down there, it's gridlock. Like any time of day, any day of the week. And I waited in line for a couple hours, and I'm like, it's already 1:00. I I'm so tired. Like,
Mm.
this is annoying. So I just went to the mall. Like, I'm gonna go to the local mall. I'm just gonna hang out there, you know,
Get a churro.
see if I get a churro, see if there's anything I want to buy. Like, maybe there's something. It's holiday season.
Right.
But because it took so long and the parking that was available was like, it was $40 to park, at the regular parking. I'm like, no, no. And the worst part was, I thought in the back of my head, I'm like, I should just Uber there. It's gonna cost a lot of money, but it's gonna save me time and effort. I should have just stuck with my instinct,
No,
with
see,
my spider sense.
what you should have done is drive from the city of make believe that you live in to the greater LA area to a park and ride,
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
and then Uber from there.
that's a smarter move. You're
Because
right.
I bet you I can picture the Staples Center and roughly what it looks like around it. I don't know where it is,
Right. Right.
but I can picture the things around it. I'm safe to say I would go out on a fucking limb to say that public transportation is pretty fucking close to there.
I think so. Probably. I probably could have taken the train there. Yeah.
That too. I forget. I always forget that LA has a train.
We do have a subway system. It's not a very good subway system, but we do have a subway system and train system. But I didn't think about it. I should have done it that way, because not only did they have the convention, but this is their second year doing an after party, right? And press gets in free to the after party, and I'm like, oh, I should
We
have
don't.
done it.
You mean we don't have to grease anybody at the door or nothing?
Nope, nope. If I would have had a press badge, and they would have let me in. Because the lady who was like doing all of the marketing or whatever, she's like, remember, you can go into this thing for free where you can see such artists as. I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Oh, that's
Like, I
fair.
don't know who any of these guys are, except for one, which was like Greg Grunberg has
Oh,
a band, and
Oh,
apparently
yeah,
they
I
were
forgot that.
playing. Yeah, so they were playing, and I'm like,
Officer Heroes.
yeah, the mind reader from Heroes.
The mind
yeah.
reader from Heroes, yeah.
Look, and I would have gone too, because the last time they did that was the one I went was like 2017 or something like that, 2016. And I just want to see the staff get so annoyed with the type of music that nerds listen to. Because my one story is, I went to an after party that LA Comic Con had. The sound guys were I was standing right in front of the sound booth where the guys were like controlling all the levels and stuff. And the dude who sang the original Pokemon theme song came on and sang the entire theme song, like the extended version.
Not
So
the
it's like a
not the
4-minute
TV
song.
version, yeah.
Not the TV theme. It was like the extended, like
Yeah.
there's verses in it. And so the song ends, and it's me and like some people, and the guys behind us were just like, what the hell? They were just like, what the hell did we just listen to? That was awful. Like, they hated it, like every second of it. They
That's
hated
funny.
it. And we were the nerds in the front were just giggling, like, yeah, like, this is our music. What do you want from us? Like, this is what we listen to. Even though I don't, but like
Sure.
everyone else was having a good time. So I don't know. Just to have that experience again would have been worth it to go to this stupid after party, because I wouldn't have done anything. Just hung out and watched
Sure.
the bands. But good time. Next year. I'll definitely go next year.
There was a show that was here this past weekend in another city, and I probably, even though I found out about it a day before it started,
Yeah.
I probably still could have submitted and gotten in, but I just did not feel like driving the hour and a half to the other city to go to it, because every time I drive to the other city for a Comic-Con, that it always sucks.
Yeah, sometimes they're just inconveniences where you're just like, I can't bring myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was there, I was literally in LA. I was
Right.
in front of this. I'm like, I've been driving around for 2 hours. It's almost 2:00. It's just not worth it. I don't want to spend $40 just to park in like like 4 blocks away from the thing.
Right.
Right? It's like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's stupid. And they weren't opening parking. They had parking at the freaking convention center. They had it, but they're like, no, it's for people who pre-ordered their parking. Like, who's pre-ordering their parking?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? I hate all of you. Just fine. I'm not gonna go. So
Right.
go.
Maybe next year I will take a weekend vacation to LA. And
I'd
we
go
can,
in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hit the LA Comic-Con and then hit a Waffle House or something, and I can fly home.
Yeah, Waffle House is right there. Yeah. We would have gone to the original one too in Inglewood. We would have gone.
Inglewood?
We would have gone to the Hood. Yeah.
I tried to get you to drive to the Hood that one time. You weren't up for it.
Well. All right, next time I'll drive to the Hood.
I mean, might as well do it in the not so nice. I mean, it's not putting your car down. It's a nice car.
Inglewood is nice. Inglewood is nice now, anyway.
Oh, okay.
Ever since they did the SoFi Center, which is
Oh,
like the
yeah.
stadium.
Yeah.
So-
They went in and gentrified it.
A little bit, yeah. So
Yeah.
Inglewood isn't as bad. Now it's just center. Now it's just Watts and.
No, that's what we passed. When you picked me up at LAX this last time, we were driving. I saw the exit for Watts. I was like, "Let's go!"
You could have seen the Watts Tower. I could have driven you by the Watts
Yeah.
Tower, which is just a bunch of rebar in the form of a tower.
Hey, that would have been fun to see.
Yeah, that's right.
Could have gone to the Swanson swap meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some pretty awesome swap meets over there.
that's what I'm saying. Swap meets are
$5 in your pocket. You can go home with some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably stolen, but it's fresh.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, Francis, where can people find you on the internets if they so want to do so? Maybe even tomorrow night on some live YouTube show.
Look,
Whoop, wrong button.
Even though I never do it, I post it onto my website, sinceresarcasm.net. Just go there anyway, because there are some links there to other things I do. But supergeekedup.com is where you want to go for tomorrow, when we do a brand new live improv show. I don't know who's going to be the guest. We had our guest last week were some pretty cool artists. I mean, actors from Canada.
Actors are artists.
Yeah, and they're Canadian, which is even better. So that was a lot of fun. So
Did you get a sorry?
Yes, sorry in a boot, and yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
The first time I saw a Canadian actually use sorry, properly, I was amazed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Who
wow,
knew that was like, yeah.
it's an actual thing. I actually heard it out of a Canadian's mouth. Sorry.
Yeah. It's weird.
What are you apologizing for? I'm just trying to get their attention. Sorry. It was cute. So yeah, AKA the other guy for all things Francis. Because you should do all things Francis. That should be the name of the next podcast. All things Francis.
There you go.
Spelled it properly.
Sure.
It should be spelled in leet speak.
No. Well, if I could already remember lead speak, oh my god. Oh man.
How would you even do
No
that?
cap. No cap.
No cap. You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. If you got the Hive, well, nobody has the Hive anymore. We could have talked about that. We'll do that for next time. All things Francis with a Z. That could be the thing too. 303_ on the Instagram. You can call us 314-764-7631. You can text mail, voicemail, call into the show. Oh, I'm running out of song. Call into the show and talk to us, and we'll talk to you. You can do the email at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Look up POI Podcast. You'll find all the things there. Even though we don't use the Twitter as much. I don't use the Twitter as much as I should. At least I don't even use it for that much for myself. But you should follow me anyway, because it's fun. That's it. I'm falling apart. I'm tired. It's been a week. It's only Tuesday. I hope everybody has a great time. We'll be back next week for the week of Christmas. I'll probably take a week off after that. But that's for me and this guy to figure out. We'll let you know next week. That's it. We're out of here. Bye.